everybody, my name is Tori and welcome back to my channel. So today is August 4th and it is raining outside. I do live in New Jersey, so this is a little bit of a Hurricane Isaias. I don't think we're gonna get hit too hard. I think once it gets here, it's only going to be a tropical storm, so we don't have too much to worry about, but it's weather. Can't do much about it. But since we are holed up in the house today, can't go outside, as if we would go outside much anyway. But since it's raining out, it's moody out, I thought it'd be fun to read a thriller today. So I'm not super big on thrillers. I haven't read a ton, and all the thrillers that I have read have been young adult thrillers, so I am very excited to read I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. When I got this in the mail, it was so much thinner than I thought it was gonna be. I thought this was gonna be like at least 300 pages, but no. It's only like 210 or something like that. I heard about this book from Paperback Dreams, aka Kat, and I remember when she put this in her wrap-up, she was talking about how when you're first reading it, the very first time you read it through, the entire time you're reading it, you're just like, what is going on? Huh? Who? What? Huh? And then when you get to the end and you find the twist, everything makes sense. I'm not a super fast reader, in case you can't tell by the fact that I only ever have like 4 or 5 books in my wrap-up. So since this is only 200 pages, I thought it'd be kind of fun if I just tried to buckle down and finish it all in one day, because I have never read a book in one day. So I think this would be fun to try and do. So I'm gonna do that, and this is gonna be a reading vlog, and let's see what happens. I'll try to keep spoilers out of it, but if any spoilers do come up, I'll just throw a little timestamp up. Also, I would like to mention that I don't know what this book is about at all. I know that it's about this guy and his girlfriend. They go on a drive to go somewhere. I'm assuming that they get like caught in a snowstorm. This is one of those books that doesn't have a description on the back. The only thing I got was from like the first 2 sentences on the Goodreads, because I only glanced at that for a second. I didn't want to know what this was about, because again, from Kat's video, she was like, you should go into this book not knowing anything, just read it. Yeah, I know that it's about this guy and his girlfriend, and they're driving somewhere and they get stuck, and something about a high school. Hi, so it is 11 o'clock. It's getting pretty nasty out there. It keeps like picking up and dying down. It's super windy, but that always happens whenever there's a storm around here. But this looks like it's gonna be the worst that we're gonna get, and it's just a lot of wind. But as far as the book goes, it's from the girl's perspective, which, good to know. Didn't know that going in. I was very confused for a little bit. So apparently she's like getting these calls from this number, and at first, the first couple times that the number called, it was just like a wrong number, but she was like, why does this keep happening? So she looked at the number that was calling her, and she realized that it was her own number. The calls are coming from inside the house. And every time the number calls, sometimes they'll leave a... We just lost power. Everything just turned off. Uh-oh. I'm sitting over here now, because I don't want to hold my phone in my hand anymore. This caller keeps calling her from her own number, which I don't think that's that weird. I mean, I don't think it's that like crazy that it's from her own number, because spam callers especially, they can make their number look like it's from your own town, so that way you're more likely to pick up. They'll do that, and then you call the number back, and it ends up being this like random person, which is really weird. They can like disguise their number, but anyway, the rain is coming down in sheets now. And he's referred to as the caller with a capital C, and he keeps leaving this message, and it says, there's only one question to resolve. I'm scared. I feel a little crazy. I'm not lucid. The assumptions are right. I can feel my fear growing. Now is the time for the answer. Just one question to answer. And like he keeps leaving that message, and she's like, what does that mean? Who is this man? Why does he keep calling me? What's going on? Oh, the lights are back on. And also, in between the chapters, you're getting these like conversations that don't have any context whatsoever. It doesn't even have like dialogue tags, so you don't know like if it's just 2 people having a conversation, if there's more than 2 people. I don't know if you can really see that, but like each line has like a dash instead of like a dialogue tag. This is the actual chapter. This is like the conversations that are happening. It sounds like they're from a small town and something happened to one of the guys that lived there. I think that either he killed someone or he killed himself, which I don't know. Which honestly, that might fit with the
thesis up that rides our concubines incredibly personal.
I didn't even know that channel existed. If he killed himself, it fits with the title. Also, I don't know if it's just because of like how the book is written, how like the writing style is. The boyfriend keeps saying like the weirdest things to her. Also, we don't know the girl's name. No one has said the girl's name yet. The boyfriend's name is Jake. He keeps saying like the weirdest things to her, and she keeps asking questions about like not where they're driving because they're driving to go see his parents, but she keeps asking like these questions about like things that are passing by as they're driving, and it's nothing, there's no like bad questions, they're all just like nonchalant conversational questions, and he keeps dodging them, and that's shady. So don't know what's up with that. Wind. And so they're driving in the car together, but she called the number back that keeps calling her. And she starts like screaming at this guy, like, "Why are you calling me? Who are you?" Because he said like the basic horror movie, like, "I can see you," kind of thing. And she goes, "What?" And then she throws her phone down. But her boyfriend doesn't react at all. He's sitting like right next to her. At least I think. The writing style is kind of confusing because it keeps like jumping between things that happen. And it's really hard to keep track of. Sometimes you have to read like paragraphs over and over before you realize like where it is. So that's a little confusing, but it adds to the vibe. Okay, not a book update, but outside update. It's so weird because like it's still super, super windy as if the storm was still here. But the skies are pretty much clear, like you can see blue skies, there's no more storm clouds coming, and the camera isn't really showing it, but these clouds, I don't think I've ever seen clouds moving this fast. The power company is also saying we might be without power for a week, so that's fun. But we just called my brother, who's at college, like a couple towns over, and he's saying that there was barely a storm there. But then my friends, who are a couple towns over the other direction, said it was so much worse over there. So, don't know what's going on. There is definitely something in the basement. So I'm on page 91, and I'm about halfway through the book. Everything about this, for some reason, is giving me Get Out vibes. I think it's probably because, A, there's the basement door that has scratches on it that were from when we had a dog. No, there's definitely dead bodies down there, and maybe some of the bodies weren't so dead when they were brought down there. Also, the fact that when she asked, she was like, "What's behind that door?" He was like, "Oh, it's just some rooms and the basement." And she goes, "Oh, okay," doesn't ask any more questions. And then this man keeps going. He's like, "Oh, it's just like some dusty old rooms. There's just a water heater down there. We don't use it a lot." And she's like, she's like, "Okay, I don't care about this. Why are you still talking about this?" So there's that. And then also I think it's the fact that they're like on a farm in the middle of nowhere. And also there was that picture that she saw on the wall. She was looking through all their pictures in their living room, and she was like, "Oh, who's this? Who's this? Who's this?" And she points to one, and she goes, "Who is this?" And Jake goes, "Oh, it's me, can't you tell?" And she goes, "Huh, it doesn't look like you." And she was like, "It doesn't look like Jake, it looks like me." Very Get Out vibes, and Also, apparently this book is getting a Netflix adaptation, so that's gonna be fun. It's coming out later this year. Oh, by the way, it's like 4:30? It might be 5. Wait, it's 5. I haven't been reading all day. It didn't take me like 6 hours to get 100 pages. My mom and I watched Umbrella Academy for a little bit. I don't know, then I just kind of hung out for a little bit. And now I'm back to reading, and I'm gonna go back to reading right now. Also, I changed shirts because I was wearing a sweatshirt before, and once the storm cleared up, like the sun started beating down in our house, and it got so much hotter. Okay, so I'm on page 105, which is officially halfway through the book. So they're at the farm. In case you couldn't tell by my last little update, this is gonna be like an official update. This isn't just thoughts. This is like, here's what's happening. So they're at the farm. They're at his parents' house. They had dinner, and his parents were just acting like super, super weird and like telling the girl super, super personal things. While they were having dinner, they looked at the girl and they were like, do an impersonation of Jake. And she was like, why? And they were like, oh, it's just a fun game we play. You should try it. And so she didn't want to, but she was like, okay. And then this was a weird part, and I know that this is absolutely going to come up again later, or this is foreshadowing something, but Jake did an impersonation of her, and the narration was talking about how creepy it was because of how, like, accurate it was, and that is 100% going to become important later. Something like that is going to happen. Also, question, why is it always nosebleeds? Stranger Things. Get Out. This. Why is it always nosebleeds? Why? Is it just because it's, like, the most visible, I guess? I guess because it's the most visible and it's the most excusable. Like, bleeding out of your mouth, you're like, oh my god, you just got punched. Bleeding out of your eyes, you're like, oh my god, you're a demon. I guess nosebleeds can just happen sometimes to normal people.
Hi, it's almost 9 o'clock, and I have spent the last hour deleting probably over 2 hours worth of videos from my phone just so I could have enough time and storage on my phone to record this, like, 1-minute video. I'm gonna put my head through the wall, but anyway, I'm going to keep reading now. I'm on page 124, and I would like to say that I have a theory. So, spoilers, jump to here if you don't want to be spoiled, but you gone? Okay. So, they're in the car driving back home right now from the farm. When the narrator was in Jake's bedroom, the narrator was talking about how there was this picture of this girl on his dresser, and this girl was blonde. And the narrator has also talked about how the previous girlfriend that Jake had was blonde, and that the narrator herself is also blonde. We still don't know her name, though, so she's still the girl, or the narrator. She's like the mom from How I Met Your Mother. And I have a theory. I don't know how well this relates to the rest of the story, but I have a theory that the boyfriend, that Jake, is telling his parents that they're all the same girl. I don't know, either that or he has a thing for blondes. But I think that he's telling them they're all the same girl. Also because when the girl was talking to Jake's dad in Jake's bedroom, the dad was like, it's nice to finally meet you after all this time, even though earlier in the book the narrator was like, I've only known him for 6 weeks. That's my theory. But that's just a theory! I'm gonna go read now. Hello, it's 9:30 at night, and this was a bad decision. 'Cause I'm a little scaredy cat. I forgot how easily I get scared. I don't really know if this counts as... Yeah, I guess this is kind of spoilers, because this happens, like I said, on page 155, a lot later in the book, so I guess jump to here if you don't want to get spoiled. But, okay, so, earlier in the book, the narrator was talking about how... I'm sitting right next to my window, and I don't want to talk about this. I'm literally on the 2nd floor. She was talking about how when she was younger, one night she woke up in the middle of the night and she saw this like man outside her window staring. He wasn't staring into her window, like the window was like below his head, so like it's not like he was looking, but then he made this... Car just drove by my window and I'm going to lose my mind. He made this weird like wave, literally the book says wave-like gesture. So on the drive home, they stopped at this like high school for some reason. They started making out in the car, and Jake says, oh my god, there's a man in the window, like in the window of the high school, looking at us, and he made a wave-like gesture with his hand. Oh my god, I forgot how scared I get. Hi, it is now Wednesday. I finished the book last night, and Kat was definitely right. I did not know what the hell was going on. I thought that she meant that throughout the entire book, but really it's just like the last chapter. The last chapter and a half. You just have no idea what's happening. But it's fun, you know? It's in a fun kind of way. But, you know, I read through a couple, like, online forums and stuff like that, and I just read through Goodreads reviews. I don't want to say a ton, because you should probably read this. I don't know what I'm gonna give this.
It's definitely 4 or 5. I think I'm gonna give it 4. When I reread it, it's probably gonna be a 5. People usually recommend that you reread thrillers because thrillers, you know, they typically have a twist, and then once you reread it, you can go back and pick up on all the clues that you missed before. To understand what happened at all, you need to reread this at least twice. I saw someone on one of the forums who said they reread it like 5 times, and they were still, like, picking up on new things and still figuring out what some things meant. This book is definitely confusing. Confusing in the best way. So I'm going to give this book 4 stars. And that is the end of my reading vlog. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you are having an amazing day. And this is Tori, signing off. If any spoilers come up, I'll just... Oh?